You're listening to the Savoir Faire audio experience.
Are you ready?
The Savoir Faire experience is your guide to everything that has to do with lifestyle. From dating, rides, style, and entertainment. All brought to you by the editor of Savoir Faire magazine, Robert White. Anything goes on this audio experience. So, let's go.
It's still the best.
Hello again, and good afternoon. Welcome to episode 8 of the Savoir Faire podcast. We are doing another really cool phone interview. Today's interview is someone really cool because she's not only a model and an actress, but she was recently on the cover of Savoir Faire magazine. She was the Savoir Faire contest winner and won her way to New York City and got to spend some time running around New York with me and getting a photo shoot done. And we had a ball, so we decided today is the day to introduce you a little bit more to Alex Van Zeelandt from Nashville, Tennessee. Alex, are you there?
I am here. How are you, Robert?
I'm doing great. It's good to hear your voice again and talk again.
I know. I've missed our adventures. I mean, oh my God, did we have a ball?
Yeah, it was a great time, really. I was surprised because, Alex came to New York City in the middle of New York Fashion Week, and not only did we do the cover shoot and have some fun, made some pretty cool memories together just through New York Fashion Week, and that Yankee game we went to was incredible, too.
I know. I don't even know if they had a better game last season than that one.
Yeah, I think you were the good luck charm. So Alex shows up and the Yankees win, guys, so keep that in mind. So I want to dig into a little bit more about you. The Q&A with Savoir Faire is very focused on specific pieces of your world, but there's so much more to you, and there's a lot of successes that you've had that we haven't had a chance to really talk about, so I'm really interested in learning more about these things, and I'm sure the audience is too. So I just kind of want to jump into a little bit of, Alex, when you were a little bit younger, your first experiences with modeling and acting, and just give me a little bit of backstory on how all that stuff got started for you.
Well, my first big modeling job was for Abercrombie Kids, and I was between 13 and 14 while I modeled for them. I booked my first acting job, which was Sarah Buxton's Innocence. It was a music video.
Very cool.
And from there, I did a lot of commercial print stuff. And, some people like to cancel last minute, and I like to make up for that time and kind of run in there and be the hero of the day. That way, I make a new connection in film or modeling, and people take me seriously as a professional. So, I've even modeled for MAPCO. They still use my pictures.
You say it like it's a bad thing. That's a fun thing, man. That's all good.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, and that was 2 years ago. And I walk in and there's my face, and it's like, oh no.
So what was your first, so your first thing was the Abercrombie Kids?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so how did you get involved with that? How were you selected for that?
I was selected because I went through an agency, and I went to a big type of convention situation through Advantage Models and Talent, and somebody from LB brand saw me, and they decided to set up a time for me to go out to California and do the shoot. And yeah, that's kind
California.
Of how that happened.
So when you were 12, though, you were living in New York?
No, I had lived in Nashville from the time I was 11.
Okay, so you went from Nashville to the West Coast for this opportunity.
Yeah.
That's a big thing for a 12-year-old.
New York to Nashville, and then my first big modeling job was that.
Okay.
And I was in there for a full season. Then I did the pictures for the yearbook catalog. So when you were in school, there would be a catalog. I did that for 5 years.
That's pretty cool too.
I mean, it was random stuff, but I have a go-getter mentality, so I don't really care if I'm going to go from, something that is a major motion picture to an independent. What I
Right.
care about is, being seen and making those contacts and, moving forward. So, from Abercrombie to Mapco to, pamphlets for your school yearbook, it's never been an issue for me.
You
And I've
can't
gone
hide. You can't hide.
and Maxim and I've been in Vogue Italia like 14 times.
Nice.
Um,
Very good
so
stuff.
yeah, I'm on the cover of Savoir Faire.
Oh, which is the highlight of your career so far, right?
So far, yes. It beats meeting Leonardo DiCaprio for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if it beats. I don't know if it beats that. I mean, I would be pretty impressed with meeting that guy. He's a very humble guy, amazing actor. There's just a lot of positive things about that dude. I think I definitely would want to hang out with him once. That'd be fun.
Oh yeah.
So talk to me a little about. Let's go right into that topic since you brought up Leo. Let's talk about The Wolf of Wall Street and how that opportunity came together, and just being on set with some of those people that were part of that. Like, give me some stories and some fun stuff from that.
Well, I'll tell you the things that I know that I'm allowed to say.
Okay, perfect. No secrets. All
No
right.
secret. So it's kind of a funny story because I was demoted from Playmate to co-ed of the month of July. And I was very, very upset about this. And my mother said, there's a reason for this. And one fine day, I guess Scorsese's office was looking for Playboy models, but they didn't want Playmates. And they wanted natural-looking women.
Mm-hmm.
And my picture hit his desk, and I get a phone call saying, would you like to be in this movie? I'm like, who is this? This is a terrible prank. So the woman repeats herself. She goes, ma'am, we are saying that you have been selected to be in a Martin Scorsese movie starring Leonardo DiCaprio. If you don't want to do it, that's fine. We will replace you. However, we figured we'd call you and let you know about this opportunity. So, of course, I was there in 48 hours.
Yep.
I did all the rehearsals, and, that was the start of my film career. It's how I got a SAG card. Martin Scorsese is the most wonderful person that you could ever work with. He is a bona fide genius. Leo is humble and kind, and I'm just eternally thankful for everything that they did for me, from being on the DVD cover in multiple places, which to this day does not make any sense to me, but I'll take it. And having the focal point of a major scene as my first film. So
That's awesome.
I have nothing but great things to say.
I would have to say, as an entrepreneur, and I know like the storyline of The Wolf of Wall Street is kind of crazy, but as an entrepreneur, it's actually one of my top 5 favorite movies, period. So yes, I've seen you a couple times. I think it's one of those movies when you get bored on a Sunday, you're just kind of like, I'll just pop in a good, business flick, and that's one of those really fun ones that I go to a lot, so it makes a lot of sense. So the opportunity came kind of at random, like you were just selected from a group of other models that were submitted?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Very cool.
Totally random. I had no idea that they were going to look for Playboy models. I had no clue.
Okay.
Like this was really out of the blue.
Yeah.
And it just, when it happened, I really couldn't believe it. I think actually it was like at like 8 o'clock at night, and I had a moo-moo on, and I ran down the stairs crying to my mom. I was like, I did it! I did it, Mom!
That's so cool, though. So all that stuff was shot in...
Goodfellas together.
That was all shot in New York, right?
Yes.
Okay, so from Nashville, scoot to New York real fast, and then on set within 48 hours?
Yeah, I had to be there in 48 hours because we had rehearsals, and I was scheduled to be there for a full month.
Wow.
And
There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff with production that's still like pretty amazing to me. So I like hearing some of those stories. So you got a phone call. They said, "Hey, do you want to be one of these girls in this movie?" You said yes. Jump on a plane, and then you spent a month in New York City shooting on the set.
yeah.
Yeah, very cool. And it really kind of happened for you overnight, but it came from successes that you had with Playboy and exposures through that, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
It was probably the single most life-changing event that I've ever experienced, and from that, it's given me a fan base. I have a SAG card, and you've met my lovely friend Dale. We're working on a podcast.
Very cool.
Ourselves. I just got a series in an Amazon Prime show called Stranger Hearts that's going to be amazing.
Nice.
And I'm also writing a TV show about living in East Nashville called Welcome to the Neighborhood.
That all sounds cool.
By the way.
Nice. So there's a busy girl over there. You never slow down.
I don't really know how to. It's just one of those things that if I stay in one place for too long, I do kind of go crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Which my friends always try to get me to stop moving and traveling because they know when I'm going to have a nervous breakdown.
I would say this. I would say the best thing to do, and I can respect friends and family and whoever trying to get you to slow down and take a break, but, I hear a lot of this stuff myself. I'm just like you, nonstop, all the time. I'll slow down when my body tells me to. So the best advice is when your body tells you need to rest, you have to listen to that. Everybody else, you don't need to listen to. If your drive is that fast and that hard and you want to just grind it out all day, every day, then you do that. Your body will tell you when you need to rest.
Yeah, and I've had one of those weeks this week. I don't know if it's the change in weather. I don't know if it's like just the fact that I'm trying to readjust to being here for the next few months.
Yep.
Before I do this all over again.
Well, you're always traveling, right? So you're constantly in warm climates and stuff. Where'd you just come from? You were just traveling someplace.
Mexico.
Yeah, so a warm climate back to Nashville, which is what? Is it 50 degrees there today, maybe 60 degrees?
I believe it is. Let me
It's just cold. It's just cold.
It's actually it's a gray day, so
it's 50 degrees exactly.
It's exactly 50 degrees.
50 degrees. What a good guess. That was a horrible. So they're definitely cold weather. So your body goes through a little change for that, for sure. Well, you get thin blood, I think, when you're in warmer climates, and then when you get home, you're like, God, it's so cold. Until maybe a couple weeks from now, you might settle into like, okay, my body's cool and adjusted to this cold weather now.
Yeah, it's adjusting back.
Makes sense. All right, cool. So the most recent thing that you had in film that I want to mention is it was kind of pretty cool, actually. So when Alex was in New York City, and we were doing her cover shoot and doing New York Fashion Week, the signs for the Hustler movie with Jennifer Lopez were there pretty much everywhere. And it was something that I remember about you and our time together is every time we saw one of those things, there was a comment made. And so I remember like, I'm going to be in that movie. That's my thing. And like, you're extremely excited about the opportunity. And the list of people that were actually involved with that movie, pretty good. So tell me a little bit about like the Hustler opportunity and how that worked out for you as well. I want to know a little bit about that too.
Well, my agent, Debbie May, knew that I am the type of person that cannot sit still, and my mother had just passed away. And she was frantically looking to just get me any kind of acting role.
Yep.
To, get me out of the house because, I was a mess. So I got a phone call to go up there and audition, and it was small speaking, and I got it. They changed me last minute to a redhead, but decided to use me as a blonde, which does not make any sense that
okay.
I was there and they filmed half and half. I guess they didn't know what direction they were going to go with, but it was, it was a great project. I definitely liked everybody that I met. And you can see me speaking in the beginning of the movie. I have not watched all of it.
Well, you don't have to watch all of it, right? If you're in the beginning, then we just got to turn it on.
But I'm supposed to be in other places too. I just honestly, when my friend wanted to celebrate to go see it, and she got me trashed. She wanted me there for 30 minutes before I was like, I need to go. I need to sleep.
Right.
Yeah, ended up buying a bunch of things that I did not need at the time.
That sounds like a fun evening, though. I mean, I think I'd much rather be out with my friends celebrating and having a little moment. But you went to the movie to see it, and then you never saw it.
I saw 30 minutes of it. I saw myself in the beginning, and I was like, okay, cool.
Oh, there I am. We can go home now.
That's basically what happened.
Yeah.
Not that I have every intention.
That means you're starting to get comfortable with your fame when you're like that. If I was in a feature film and I saw myself on a big screen in a theater, I think I'd have a small meltdown, and everybody in that theater would know that was me, just in case. I think I'd have one of those really crazy, exciting moments. But for you, it's just kind of like, well, it was probably the environment too. You were out having fun. It wasn't really.
I mean, it would have been great if she wouldn't have gotten me wasted.
Yeah.
She's really good at that too. She's a dear friend of mine.
That's too much fun. Okay, very cool.
We snuck in 2 bottles of champagne into that movie theater.
Oh my!
After the previews.
Oh Lord, that sounds like a really good time.
She's the best. I love her. I'm not going to say her name right now, though.
Well, we won't call her out. I think I have an idea who you're talking about now. I think we'll just keep that name.
No, actually, it's not who you're thinking.
Okay.
She's my other Southern Belle. She's my blonde Southern Belle.
All right, perfect. So.
No, Dale and I cook healthy food and go to yoga and get trashed appropriately after yoga.
All right, Dale. So you've made a cameo now, so you have to just jump on there for a second.
I'm sorry.
Yep, you made a cameo. All these people are going to be like, "Who's the girl in the background?" So now we're going to have to throw her name up there for you.
Dale is my business partner. Dale and I are doing a podcast. We don't want to say the name just yet because we have not gone through copyright or anything like that. But it's going to be really funny. The interesting thing is that we are girls with dude names. So yeah, we're just gonna really talk.
So the podcast has something to do with that.
I feel like all you really have to do is give us some tequila and we'll just go. But I'm gonna swap over. I feel like Dale should absolutely introduce herself. So Dale.
Okay, jump on. Give us a breakdown, Dale.
Yeah, it's so unlike me to be shy and in the background. All right, hi everybody. Yeah, right. Hi everybody. My name is Dale Rainey, and I'm also a model and actress based in Nashville.
Very cool. And good friends with Alex, and part of Alex's New York City trip included Dale. She came and kind of hung out with us and had a good time. So I got to meet Dale. I
had the opportunity to shoot with some wonderful photographers while I was in New York. Alex definitely has the very intense drive that she mentioned, but I even so always like to make any trip into a business trip if possible.
Yeah, totally makes sense. Yeah, absolutely. Very cool. All right, Alex, let's get you back. Thank you, Dale.
All righty.
All right, sweetie. Okay, we're going to talk about a couple more things here. So we've kind of dabbled a little bit. We talked more about the major feature films, The Wolf of Wall Street, The Hustler, the other opportunities that you had and have coming. But modeling is a big piece. I met you through modeling. Modeling is what put you on our radar to get you into the contest. You definitely have an amazing, just a really amazing, unique look. I guess we kind of call it a throwback look. I know you've heard that word before. You do not look, I'm trying to think which era that would be that people put you in the most. Like, what era do you think it is? Is it 20s or 30s kind of look?
I can fit anywhere between the 1940s to the late 60s.
Okay, yeah. So It's a very unique thing.
Yeah, I have like a very film noir look and then a classic 50s look into a mod 60s look.
Perfect. So the modeling thing for you, though, has been like nonstop. I mean, you travel, you've been on multiple covers for major brands, you've done a ton of that stuff. So give me some insight into the modeling world a little bit from your perspective and what you've been through so far. Like just give us a short list of some of your successes so far.
I mean, I think I listed them as like Playboy, Maxim, US on all of those.
Okay.
And Vogue.
Yep.
And different brand companies. Like, I mean, I've even modeled for the salt lamp companies.
The salt lamp company.
I'll show you those videos. They're fun.
Okay. What's the salt lamp company?
Yeah, you know, like salt lamps, like they're supposed to be a calming, soothing effect on.
Oh, I actually have one right in front of me, and I'm asking you what they are.
Yeah, I've actually modeled for them.
Okay.
I've modeled for a bunch of different local Nashville designers.
Very cool.
You know, I think what is the difference in my work from a lot of other people is that I have an understanding of art and movement. And I mean, I've been doing it so long that, you know, I really am a machine. And when you watch me model, I don't really pause a lot unless you tell me specifically to stop, and I will.
Right.
But I'm no longer there.
Okay. And that's the difference, I think. We'll just kind of bring this up. That's the difference between being a beginner and an experienced model. A beginner model, in my view, is probably a girl who's going to have the photographer posing her up, giving her where she needs to put her hand, where her body needs to be, where the lines need to be, all that good stuff. But when you are successful, or you've been doing it for a really long time, or you have more experience, then it's a natural kind of flowing movement. It's like a little dance that models have to do, and the photographer that's really good can snap those pictures, and the click on the camera is the cue for the model to yet change again or keep moving. And that's what's really unique about being behind the scenes and watching a photography shoot, especially with a skilled photographer and a seasoned model or a really good model, because it's a very unique dance. Like 100 photos can be taken within 5 minutes because they just blend together. It works out really well. It's pretty unique.
It is, but I never like to say that my style of modeling is right for other people, because I have acting behind me, and I've studied Alexander technique, and I've been doing yoga for years.
Yeah.
So I have control over my body, but everybody models differently. There are some people that go at a faster pace. There are some people that literally sit and do nothing, and they can take a beautiful photo. And that's something I'm not good at doing. I am fluent motion. But I have friends that they might turn maybe once and change like every 30 seconds to a minute, and that's what people like. I mean, a lot of art photographers like that. A lot of art photographers will tell you to stay in that same pose and take different angles of it. It becomes their job at that point. But everyone has a different rhythm. I know what my rhythm is. I just, if anything, that's what I prefer. But I've seen people literally do nothing, and their photos are amazing.
Yeah, it does go back and forth, but I think it still comes from experience, right?
Yeah, it definitely comes from experience, but everybody has their own way of finding that flow.
Yeah, I would agree with that too. Okay, so we mentioned earlier in your introduction that you were the contest winner. We've talked about your trip to New York. I just want to jump into the contest just a little bit, because I know it's you've been doing a lot of other things since September when you came to New York, and prior to that being in the contest. But because it's something that we love doing and we enjoy it, it gives people amazing opportunities like the one that you won. And we have a contest kind of currently in motion for 2019 going into 2020. So hopefully September or earlier of next year, somebody else will be winning the same opportunity you had. So I'm very curious about just your experience and from your perspective. What would you tell these other girls that are competing now? What would you tell people that are not competing or that should be? And then just give me some feedback on, the overall thing for you.
Well, the overall thing for me that I really enjoyed about your contest was the charity that you had involved. And I am not a big contest person. In fact, I might have only have ever done 3 or 4 contests in my life because I don't like losing. I'm really bad at it.
We love competitive people.
I'm not a nice person if I lose. So the reason why I did your contest was because, okay, it's for charity. If I lose, then it's fine. But also, I was like, a trip to New York, that would be fun. I might need that. And I wasn't like paying too close attention to it until I realized like what great, models were competing in this contest. And I was like, okay, maybe this is different. And everything that you had said in the prize category, I was given. And I mean, I probably had the best trip to New York of my life from your contest. And
that's awesome.
You're very hospitable and you took us to really cool spots.
We had fun.
Was amazing. And, for people that are ready to take this seriously the way I did once I realized what, this prize was, is that you have to get your fans to go and help you. Fans, followers, family, whatever, get them involved and make certain that you're talking about it. Because if you're not talking about it, there was one model, I won't say her name, she was like, so what's the deal with the contest? It's like, it's over. It's over. Like,
this is after you already won?
Yeah.
Oh,
she
jeez.
posted in that thread, what's the deal with the contest? It's like, you didn't post. You didn't even get a vote.
Yeah. And that happens a lot. I mean, we get this probably every month. There's always a handful of girls that sign up, and they're super excited about being involved and getting involved, and then I don't get to hear much from them the entire month. They just kind of fall off. When people are busy, I get that stuff too, but I think that's part of it. If you take it seriously and you get the 3 friends, you get the 3 F's involved, friends, family, and fans, then you have a really good chance of winning it.
I was on set of Hustlers when I was in like the last round for vote. I don't want to hear any excuses because I was working.
I can appreciate that. That's awesome.
That I had when I was not filming to promote that contest and get votes.
Absolutely.
My friends, I told them, hey, here's the daily thing. I mean, like, Dale was there posting 4 times a day.
Yeah.
So were other girlfriends. I mean, like, if you want to come out with something great, you have to put in the effort. And I know everyone has a life, but if you want to take something seriously, you're going to put in the effort, and it will show. And
absolutely.
You might win a trip to New York.
Or be on the cover of a magazine, or get some extra bells and whistles, like I could think of a couple things that Alex got on this trip that weren't part of the original deal. Like, she had no idea.
I mean, and that, I don't know. I guess you must like me as a person, Robert.
Well, I can tell you there's a couple things that we did on our first contest winner in 2018 that I knew were just good things to do for the people that won. And that's one of the reasons why we duplicated some of that stuff. I was just talking to somebody a couple days ago about the contest, and we were discussing some options to make some changes to it for next year. Not the one that's currently happening, but next year. And so it's only going to get a little bit more interesting when those changes come. But I like the idea that the private part that most people don't know, they're all going to know it right now because I'm going to say this. And because Alex was in the contest, I'm going to share this with the people that are competing now because they need to listen to some of the stuff that you're saying. We kind of had a little deal, right? We kind of said, like, okay, find 2 things that you really like or that you really want to do in New York City besides this photo shoot, and we're going to make those things happen. And I know there was a list of stuff that you did. I think we compromised because Alex we went above and beyond with Alex. Maybe I did like you. We we did the Yankee game, which was incredible. That was one thing that we both wanted to check off our list.
It was really the best Yankees game.
Yeah, it was
the entire season.
It was pretty good. I was pretty pumped up, and I was glad that they won. And what was, I think, really good timing for you was when you started recording, and I don't know where that video is now, but you should post it on your Facebook page so I can share it. And just the idea that the Yankees went on literally like a scoring spree the whole time she was recorded. It was amazing. I don't know how many. You recorded at least 3 home runs in 3 innings, maybe 2 innings.
Yeah,
it was wild.
Insane.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And then the other piece was literally New York Fashion Week. And it was perfect timing to have you guys there, you and Dale there for New York Fashion Week. It worked out so well. Extremely professional. We went to so many shows, met so many cool people. It was just an overall awesome experience. And the prize package is only 3 days and 2 nights. But, it was cool that after that part was over, that Alex stayed in New York City, and we definitely hit New York Fashion Week and we worked New York City pretty hard. We had a good time.
It was great. I mean, I personally, I'm just going to, throw that out there that this was not like a contest win. This was just a great opportunity that the timeline matched beautifully. And Robert was so generous in allowing not only myself, but my best friend to attend Fashion Week so we could continue to further our careers. I mean, the contacts that we made
Unreal.
were unreal.
Oh, yeah. And that's one of the things that I love about it, too.
Yeah, the parties didn't suck.
The parties didn't suck. The people that we met were successful. I mean, we met a lot of really great people. I mean, I could drop like 3 things right now that I'm not going to give out names, but we met somebody who is a major sunglass designer for a lot of really big artists in that week. We met a lawyer that deals in the entertainment industry who I hope to connect with someday, thanks to Alex. And then
He's so hot, Carlos.
and then it was pretty interesting. There was a couple other people too that were extremely well connected. They were just good people. And that's one of the cool things that I like about New York City and that I like about New York Fashion Week is that in September, when that show's happening, so many cool people come to New York. I mean, celebrities included. It's celebrities everywhere. If you don't run into a celebrity, you're at the wrong place, honestly, because they're everywhere. They're completely involved in that stuff. And that's what makes it so unique and cool. But the networking opportunities and the ability to move forward in your business, I mean, just awesome. I mean, even as a
Paris Hilton, I was like, it's officially Fashion Week. She's like the
absolutely
of Fashion Week.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Would you say the queen?
No, like in Groundhog Day, you see the groundhog and then.
Oh yes.
Fashion Week has begun.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's a pretty cool experience. So I'm glad we had the opportunity to kind of hang out and do all that together. I mean, it would have been completely different if you weren't there. So I appreciate that too. Just to give a plug out there. So, all right, let's talk about what's on the schedule for the future. I know you're going to take some months off to kind of chill and be in Nashville for a bit, but what's coming out soon? What are you working on besides the stuff you mentioned already?
I am learning patience.
Patience, okay.
That's something that I'm going to attempt with my short break from traveling and everything like that. But I am going to Bali, and I'm going to Japan, and I'm going to Jamaica. Those are already on the books.
Okay.
For next year.
What's coming out? Isn't there something new coming out that you're in?
Oh, Stranger Hearts is. We haven't started filming it yet, though.
Okay.
Filming, in the spring of next year.
Okay.
So, really, it's just all the projects that I'm independently doing, or that we're independently doing.
Yeah.
That is coming up. I mean, I have no idea how to do a podcast. This is going to be interesting. Thank you, Jonathan Frazier, for throwing me into this. But he's right.
I googled podcasting for beginners earlier, so we're good.
We're good.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, listen, I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of good resources, but I'm going to tell you exactly what I did to get mine started, okay? Just to give you some plug. Not only for you, but for anybody else that's like, this is kind of cool, I want to do a podcast. It's pretty simple to get it going. You just need a solid microphone. There's a little box. I can send you, I put the information in the podcast information in here, but I can also send it to you guys. There's a little box you buy. It's about $100. So whatever mic you want to get, you get the box, you plug it into a computer, you're good to go. Now here's a little plug for a brand. I started my first podcast on an app called Anchor.fm.
Anchor dot what?
Anchor FM. Anchor.fm. Okay. It is a podcast platform. A lot of big people are on there doing podcasts, but it's so easy because you can just put it on your computer, you hit record, and you can talk, and it'll record through the microphone of your computer, or you can put it on your phone as a mobile app, and when you put the phone to your ear, it recognizes that movement, and it starts recording automatically. So you can literally be sitting on your couch on your phone recording your podcast episode.
Yeah, I mean, also, the other thing that we need to do with our podcast is we want to have the option for video.
Yep.
Just because some people, I like to get on YouTube and watch podcasts. It's something that I truly enjoy.
Getting dug with high is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
There's some good ones.
You feel like you're in the room. So we're going to have a nice little setup. We're going to switch between my house and Dale's house. We're really just going to fit the vibe.
I think it will come together. Just know this. Doesn't matter what you're putting out there, just put it out there. Just enjoy yourselves, have fun, put out cool content that you appreciate.
I don't think anyone's ready for what's about to be put out there.
We get a lot of nasty looks at restaurants.
We really do.
It's going to be interesting, I'm quite sure. Well, you let me know when that launches, and
we'll just include our just as raunchy friends.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's going to be something entertaining.
Male names, we have to have Larry.
We have to have Larry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It's ridiculous. How is it that all my friends are hot with dude names? How? Including myself.
Yeah, it's interesting. That's a show, I think. Hot chicks with dudes' names, and that's pretty cool. Maybe that's an article we'll write. Maybe that's an article we can write.
Hot chicks with dude names.
Okay, well, we got
Hot chicks with dudes' names. So I'll do a thing with Savoir Faire. We'll put it on the website. We'll do the top 50 hot girls with dudes' names.
Yeah, I like
you
that.
guys need to submit photos, and you got to help me find the other 47.
Okay.
There's CJ.
Yeah, we'll work through them together. I promise. Okay, Alex, we're gonna get things wrapped up here soon, but I have a couple more questions for you. The big thing for us now is the rebranding of Savoir Faire magazine, and the confidence is a lifestyle is our new our new hashtag, but also our new branding. And so we talk a lot about confidence. Savoir Faire is being well-spoken. I think that those qualities are something that you absolutely have. So I'm curious to learn a little bit more about, the Alex Van Zeelandt definition of confidence, and then, give me some situations where you just being confident and owning the room kind of helps you close some deals, and give me some examples.
Okay, well, here's a psychological thriller for you.
Okay.
I am not confident. Okay, but you are on the phone with Alex right now.
Mm-hmm.
My alter ego, who is my full name, Alex Van Zeelandt, is extremely confident when I'm dressed well and my hair and makeup is on and I have my heels on, my eyelashes on. I am unstoppable. If anything, I'm actually a bulldozer, and if you get in my way, you shall be run over. So really, confidence for me comes from feeling secure in the way that the way that I look, but also the people that I'm about to interact with. Okay. Do I feel like I measure up in that? And if I don't, my alter ego comes out, and there's nobody that can stop her.
Perfect.
So
where does that switch come from, though?
Yeah, I mean, it's.
Where does that switch go from like being the girl who wants to just kind of stay in, not deal with people, to like, you know what, I'm going to put these heels on, put some makeup on, and I own the world. The world's my playground now. Where does that switch happen? How does that switch?
Every element has to be there.
Okay.
Like, it has to be hair, makeup, shoes, eyelashes, clothing.
Yep.
It's an actual process. And I don't know, like, because I have body dysmorphia, it's very hard for me to talk about confidence when I don't have all of those aspects together. Because myself as an individual is a very awkward, socially, like, filled with anxiety, social anxiety type of person. But when I have my mask on and the alter ego is out, that's where my confidence stems from.
Right. And I think that switch is something that's very common. I feel it all the time. I mean, you're in Nashville, but when, like you said, when you switch on that the other Alex, you know, the actor, the actress, the model Alex, that's when everything switches. You're completely somebody different than you really are in real life. I do the same thing. I live in a small town in upstate New York, about 5 hours outside of the city. I work 12 hours a day, every day. My only goal every time I wake up in the morning is where's the next dollar going to come from, and how am I going to get my brand a little bit further into the world. And I hustle. And if people know me from my hometown or have known me from, you know, growing up, they're going to see me like casually in jeans and, you know, sweatshirts and kind of hanging out, and this work ethic, if they see me at all, honestly, because I work so damn much I never am out in public. But when I go to New York City, when Fashion Week is here, when bigger events are happening, and I'm Robert White, the editor of Savoir, I am a completely different person. And that's kind of the uniqueness that you and I might share, is that we both have that switch, that when you have to put on those, when you have to do that, you have to do that. So yeah, I think part of it comes from, honestly, experiences. Like, we both, you especially, have some really amazing experiences in life. You've been through a lot. There's definitely been some hardships, but some really amazing things that have happened. And those things absolutely, I think, go along with where your confidence comes from. Because there's a difference. There is a difference in, I don't know, I'm trying to think of like the right wording, I guess, but there's definitely a difference between being who you are, kind of being a, you know, antisocial, compared to being extremely social, because now you've got some things that people are going to recognize you for. There's got to be part of that too. The success is helping you be confident.
Yeah, it definitely has. I mean, I was bullied in high school, so it's kind of like, I'll show you. And like every ex-boyfriend that's ever messed me over.
They all still watch my stories.
Yeah, see, that's right. That's a good point, Dale. They're all still there wondering what's going on, even though they're not around anymore. I completely agree with both of you on that point. So they all want to see what's going on. What's the new thing? I mean, that makes total sense. So, all right, Alex, I'm going to get you off the phone so you guys can go and enjoy the rest of your day. But I do want to just have you do a couple little shout-outs for me. Where can people find you and follow you? Give me your Facebook, your Instagram, all that good stuff that people need to know.
Follow me at Alex Van Zeelandt on Instagram. My Facebook is a personal page, but we will be making a podcast page this weekend.
Okay.
Or probably early next week. I mean, we're still trying to. Dale also went with me to Mexico, so
okay.
We're trying to readjust. But yeah, I think we pretty much have our podcast name figured out.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, when you get that organized, you let us know, and we'll blitz it out so our community can watch your new podcast and listen into that.
Yeah.
You know, if you guys have any questions about getting yours off the ground, then, you know, feel free to call me. I can definitely give you some more information on what I have. My system is a little unique. There's been a small investment into getting it really to what I have now, but, you know, I had some smaller stuff way before this that I can tell you guys about, so we can definitely do that.
Yeah, definitely. And again, thank you so much for giving me the experience of a lifetime in New York and having by far the best trip. To all of the contestants that are competing this year, please take it seriously because you won't regret it. And Robert, I love you dearly, and it was a pleasure to talk to you.
Oh.
Thank you for listening to the show. Please take a minute to head over to www.savfair.com and subscribe to our publication.